So in the game of cricket, what goes on is this conversation between the batsman and the bowler. So every ball that the bowler bowls towards the batsman is like a statement or a question, and the batsman must respond to that. And his response is a counter statement or another question. So it's very interesting. It's this battle of wits, and the game usually turns where one of either the batsman or the bowler gets the upper hand. So the aim of the batsman, if we look at what his task is, generally, is to get comfortable at the crease. That means getting comfortable in his position, batting. And once a batsman becomes comfortable in his position, he's a dangerous batsman. Then he starts to increase his run rate, he starts to hit big hits, and that's a dangerous position. On the other hand, when he's uncomfortable at the crease, that's when the bowler has the upper hand. So if we look at the main aims, yoga can help with lapses in concentration from that perspective. From a purely physical, anatomical perspective, the stance of the batsman is knees are bent, hips are flexed, spine is somewhat flexed forward, but often the lumbar spine is still in extension, so he's got this kind of position. Shoulders are more or less partially turned away from the bowler, but the head must be looking straight at the bowler. So there's already a twisting of the neck which is unbalanced. And unlike some sports, the bowler is never going to turn himself around and bat the opposite way. So over time, and sometimes these guys will spend a whole day in that position batting, there'll be a build-up of uneven tension and strength in the muscles around the spine, particularly because of that twisting. The secondary part is, in that half squat position, the hip flexors will be shortened and they will be held in a tensed, shortened position, and over time they will more or less get stuck like that. So this leads to problems usually with the lower back and muscle imbalance in the lower back. One more thing is, from that batting position, which is more or less static, then the batsman will, once he strikes the ball, often he'll take off at a sprint, having to run quite fast after standing still. This is something that often causes injuries, and things like hamstring pulls, hamstring tears are very common in cricket. So you could use the yoga to just improve the general stability and flexibility, and give the player that kind of springiness that is a readiness to take off at a sprint at any moment. With fielding in cricket, the challenges there from a mental perspective is similar to batting in the sense that a fielder might be standing still and just waiting for the moment when the ball comes his way. It's very easy for him to start mentally drifting off, and then all of a sudden the ball's coming his way and he's not ready. So the objective from that perspective is to just maintain focus and maintain the attention and readiness. In terms of the physical form, somewhat similar to batting in the sense that he'll be standing, especially if he's in slips or in close to the action, he'll be standing with his legs bent, his hips flexed, and this kind of ready position. So from this position, staying in like that for hours and hours in Test cricket, he's definitely going to end up with a certain kind of a stiffness in the back, similar to batting. In terms of the other challenges, from that position, a fielder in slips or any of them is required then to make sudden explosive movements. So he might need to launch himself over there in a dive, or launch himself upward in a jump, or make some other very quick reflex movement. So this can sometimes result in strains, and having the body pliable and ready and in good connected form and having good core strength is going to be really important for that. The bowler plays a crucial role in the team, obviously, particularly the fast bowler, or the seamer as he's called, is very much the workhorse of the team. Particularly in Test cricket, the seamer can spend hours running and bowling repetitively. So it's very rigorous, it's very hard on the body. So just to understand a little bit more about how it's hard on the body, the action of bowling, especially fast bowling or seaming, is taking the arm from high up and then bending forward like this. So what usually happens is the muscles on the right side for a right-handed right-handed bowler will become overdeveloped. That is the iliopsoas group, the hip flexor, and the quadratus lumborum group. So those might even be measurably larger, thicker, stronger muscles. So clearly this is going to put the body out of alignment in terms of its strength and flexibility, and a yoga practice could be useful in maintaining that. The way that it would be useful is probably not so much about stretching, but more about stabilizing the core and stabilizing the pelvis. So developing an even and functional strength and stability around the pelvis. In terms of the bowling action, it's important to know that different individual bowlers have different techniques. There's quite a variety. So if you were working with a team or a fast bowler, it would be important to consult with the coach and the physiotherapist to really understand the individual needs of that player. I don't think we can just go ahead and assume for all of the seamers or fast bowlers that they need a certain program. Okay, and then I'll move on. In bowling, the other action which is important, which is also something that causes a lot of strain in the bowler's body, is the landing on the front foot. Some fast bowlers land really hard on their front foot, and this causes compression in the ankle, sometimes causing a lot of pain and dysfunction in the ankle joint, which will then have another knock-on effect up the leg into the knee and the hip. So this is also part of this asymmetrical misalignment of the body. It's quite common for fast bowlers in Test cricket, young fast bowlers in particular, to develop a stress fracture in the spine as a result of the forces that they're putting themselves through. So again, important to consult with the physio, the medical team, the coach, to do what's right for that player.